God's word calls you to choose to respond to life in the right, good, noble way that he wants you to live. He doesn't force you to respond right, but he does communicate what responding right in daily life looks like. Because that's where James goes next, with the practical stuff that we need. He says, my dear brothers and sisters, you got to take note of this. And seriously, take note. Because this is like the stuff that inspirational posters are made of. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry. Because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. I remember when we had our first kid, and I was a young dad, and it was great. It was great, expecting, and baby comes, and baby's so cute and everything. And then he turns 2. And something happened. I don't know what it is, but it was like the boy went rogue. Like he had come hardwired back in there, and I didn't know it, to know how to push every one of my buttons and step on every one of my last nerves, which would then turn me, a pretty laid-back, relaxed guy, into an angry, explosive, yelling monster around the house. I mean, I'd be calm, and then I'd blow up in yelling and cussing even. Oh my goodness. And the strange thing is, it seemed to work. Because it helped me to vent, and it seemed to scare everything and everybody around me back into place, right? It worked, or so I thought. One day when I was kind of in a normal space, I was in a good mood, and Renee said, honey, just want to, Pastor, I want to be honest with you. Look, it scares Zechariah and I both when you explode in anger. And I thought about it, and I said, hey, well, I know it's not ideal, but it's kind of normal. It's the way I am. It's the way I process. The way I respond to my buttons getting pushed. And she kind of left that alone, but I couldn't kind of get it out of my head that I actually was scaring my wife and my kid, and I got a tad introspective. I asked myself, why do I do that? Why is that normal for me? Why is that the way that I respond? Then, as if God flipped on a switch, I remembered that was how my dad behaved with us kids. Calm, and then explode. And I'd always told myself growing up, I'm not going to be like that. But here I am, a dad, and I am my dad. And in that moment, I made a choice. I'm going to respond differently to life. I love my dad, and God bless him. He's gotten better. But I do not have to default to being who my dad was. I will try to respond to life and stuff in the right way, the way my Father in heaven wants me to respond. James says, whoever looks intently into the perfect law of Jesus that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they've heard, but actually doing it, they will be blessed and will be a blessing in what they do. Now, I was a young dad. I realized the angry, loud, scary guy that I had become, that I'd learned from my own dad, and I made the choice to respond in a right way to daily life, right? But choices are proven by action. So I started lots of actions. I'm pulling them from everywhere, right? I apologized to Renee and Zach both for my yelling. I promised to try to stop it. I wrote out my decision. I had others keep me accountable. I would tell myself, I will not take things so seriously and personally. I will not explode. I will not yell. I will listen to what is being asked or said, or I will speak calmly. Right? Somebody said to count to 10 before responding. I went ahead and made it 20, because for me, counting to 10 seemed like a countdown to strangling someone, right? And I tried breathing deep and saying, Steve, just let it go, right? I would make myself smile when I was irritated, because it'd be harder to stay irritated because I would be smiling like a goofball, right? I would leave the room if I felt like I wasn't going to be able to respond correctly. Maybe the most efficient tool was giving Renee and the kids the license to call me Papa, what we call my dad. anytime that I was going in the angry direction. And I tell you what, that works. And they still use it on me every once in a while too, right? It shuts me down and it gets us all laughing, right? And some of this stuff is from God's word. Some of it's probably from Google. I don't know. But I was acting on making this choice a reality. Just trying everything that I could so that over time I could actually tame that anger. Not just talk about how I should tame that anger, but actually do it. And I pray that you put the same kind of intentional work into your daily life character. Go beyond your good intentions and your good talk to actually allow your faith to change your character, your behavior, your actions from the inside out. He's still working on me. He's still working on you. Let him. So in your life, may your words with others, your care for others, and the integrity of your character all be genuine, honest, admitting to imperfection and the genuine desire to be better, and try to let them be helpful to God, helpful to others, helpful to yourself as well. I want my life to be an open book. I want to be genuinely helpful along the journey. And so honestly sharing some of my normal daily life struggles along the way, it isn't just for my therapy. Though I appreciate the couch chair that I kind of get here, 1,000 counselors, very nice, for free. I love it, right? But I hope that my sharing is helpful to you too. Because the fact that I am given to explode in anger and speak or yell words that are more hurtful than helpful, I've heard through the grapevine that is a struggle that a lot of us have, right? Right? Lots of us men have, husbands have, dads have, right? Women, wives, and moms, anger and hurtful words is not a foreign struggle to you either. We live in your homes, so we just know, right? Right. So, but I hope it's helpful to hear my struggle with responding wrongly in life. And also the choice that I made along the way to try to respond right. And that I got in there to actually try to do something about it. It's what we do as disciples growing in our character. I hope it's also helpful to hear that choosing and going God's way really does help. It helped me develop into a better person than probably my history had destined me to be. Getting my anger and my hurtful words under control made Renee's life better and calmer. Made our marriage stronger. It's definitely helped me professionally too, right? It's helped me be a better dad, a stronger influence in my kids' lives. Sharing my struggles has helped encourage other people with theirs. And I've seen it really help my kids. It didn't happen overnight, mind you. Even years, a couple years after I had already been taming my temper tantrums, Zach would still have his. And sometimes when he would get frustrated with his little brother, he would physically look with his hands in front of him. He'd be talking to him, and he'd be really tense, and he'd almost look like he was physically going to strangle him. But I own that, right? He picked that up from me. My own inability to control my temper in my daily life fleshed itself in its inability to control his. But you know what? After a couple years, having that, taming that, doing stuff about it, even that faded away in him. And none of the other kids that came later have ever kind of seemed to have that kind of issue. And I can't help but wonder if me taking the care and the steps to try to respond right in daily life helped them with some of the skills that they'd need to respond right to daily life in their lives. And who knows, might that positively affect their children someday and their children after that? Maybe. Because when we are genuinely striving to learn how to respond right in life, it'll end up genuinely helping us out more than we would ever know. Maybe there's a choice that you know that you need to make about something in your life that's not responding right, make that choice up here today. Do something about it. Get out there into your daily life. Not just listening to the good stuff in God's Word, but doing the real things that God says in there and calls you to do throughout your everyday life. And may your faith forged into action be genuine. May it be sincere and sensitive and helpful. May your words, may your care, may your character be the real deal. A good light in this dark world. And no matter how hard it gets, in the every trial or the every day, may you always walk it with God. Not apart. Drawing near to Him. He is our Abba, our Father, our Daddy. He is good. He loves you so much. He loves being close in there with you through whatever you're going through. Through it all. Every trial and every day.